Hi there, this is Janet Kirsten-Siegel, and I'm the Lonely Writer. This is serious social media help for the independent author. The independent author is defined as a writer who does not yet have an agent. This month I'm doing daily prompts for NaNoWriMo. These prompts are in all sorts of interesting orders, so please feel free to double back, switch them up, look at them after November's concluded, whatever you like, certainly go crazy. Today's prompt is just one word, and it's the word newborn. Now, what exactly do we mean when we say that something is newborn? It's a fairly simple, fairly obvious word, but let's try to deconstruct it. Let's try to break it down a bit. So, partly we're talking about newness. Certainly, we're talking about something that's fresh and has maybe just arrived. But it's not necessarily about children or young animals or hatchlings or anything of the like. It can also be, kind of like the newborn son or the newborn day. But beyond that, it may also have something to do with something that's more relative. Do we look at it objectively and say this is you're fresh out of the womb or out of the egg, or is this where we compare it to older things and older persons, perhaps? So we might look at the new kid at school, or the new employee at work, and sort of maybe jokingly or ironically or sarcastically refer to them as being quote-unquote newborn, even though the new employee at work might even be somebody who's a few months from retirement. Now, can we flip this script a little bit? Is there a way to look at it differently? When we use this as a prompt, are we talking about people who have just become parents, maybe who have a newborn at home, whether it's whether this child is new to them because they just had this baby, or is this child they've just adopted? It could be that as well. And let's maybe even look at it from the newborn's point of view. Writing from a newborn's point of view could be an extraordinary exercise. Could be really fascinating. We do have some science about what newborns can sense. They can definitely taste and smell like champs, but that makes perfect sense because, after all, for the most part, what they're doing is eating and sleeping, and of course, producing the products of a lot of eating. And they cry too. And they cry because something's uncomfortable to them, whether it means that they're hungry, or they're uncomfortable because they're wet, or they're cold, or they're hot, or they're by themselves, and something that's pleasant has been taken away from them. So there are some things that you can do with a newborn's point of view, if that's the sort of thing that you might be interested in. I think it could be a really valuable exercise to try to describe the world around you using a central character who's pre-verbal. There's that could be extremely interesting and can kind of get you to stretch beyond yourself and maybe improve your own skills. So finally, once again, this is Janet Kirsten-Siegel, and I'm the Lonely Writer, because an independent writer never has to be alone. Thank you so much for listening, and good luck with NaNoWriMo.